It's time for Twig, the latest news from Google. Jeff and Gina and I will discuss the latest, including breaking news. A big deal for Facebook, $16 billion to buy WhatsApp. What's that all about? We'll talk about it next on Twig.
Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twig.
Bandwidth for This Week in Google is provided by CacheFly. CacheFly.com. It's time for Twig, This Week in Google, episode 237, recorded February 19th, 2014. Let go, let Google. This Week in Google is brought to you by Personal Capital. With Personal Capital, you'll finally have all your financial life in one place and get a clear view of everything you own. Best of all, it's free. To sign up, go to personalcapital.com/twig. And by Shutterstock.com. With over 28 million high-quality stock photos, illustrations, vectors, and video clips, Shutterstock helps you take your creative projects to the next level. For 25% off your new account, go to Shutterstock.com and use the offer code TWIG214. And by LegalZoom. Visit LegalZoom.com to save on your legal needs and gain access to a network of legal plan attorneys for guidance. LegalZoom is not a law firm, but provides self-help services at your specific direction. Visit LegalZoom.com and use offer code TWIG to receive $10 off at checkout. It's time for Twig, This Week in Google, and today it's just the three of us. The core group, Gina Trapani in Mom's house in Brooklyn, wearing a Jets blanket. Hi, Gina.
Hi, good to be here.
Nice to see
As
you.
always, just getting the internet set up at the new house. You know, takes a while. Good to see you too.
Yeah.
Always love my Twig.
Are you going with Xfinity, Comcast, or what are you going to use for your internet service over there?
We didn't have very many choices. It's basically Time Warner.
Oh, well, that's
soon to be known as
Comcast.
Comcast.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's Jeff Jarvis over there. He's at the City University of New York, CUNY, where he teaches
Gina's in her
journalism.
blanket. I'm in my warm
Fleece?
fleece. Yeah, I'm not in warm California anymore.
Did you have a good trip? You were
had a spectacular trip. But thank you for your magnificent hospitality and generosity.
Well, I didn't do much.
And having us in, and my boss in. She had a great time. She now knows what fork means.
Nice. Now that's an education.
Yeah, it was. This whole discussion
deal.
going by about forking Android.
She admitted it after the show. I didn't know what that was about, but
She figured it out.
She
but,
obviously she's not.
No, we had an incredible. The next day, I spoke to the content team at LinkedIn, and we saw Flipboard. And then the next day, Friday, I saw Vic and Bradley and Richard Gingras at Google. And then I met with the head of product for Google Glass, and then met with the strategy team at Google, which is an amazing thing. And then spent 2.5 hours with Reid Hoffman, which was just plain an honor.
Neat.
So it was a phenomenal rest of the week.
Neat. Well, it's good to have you. It was good to have you out here. Please come out anytime.
Great to be there.
And it was really fun having her. Sarah was great. Sarah Bartlett, the dean of the School of Journalism at the City University of New York, and we had a good time.
Yeah.
So your Pixel, end of life, April 2017.
They better have a new one by then.
I can't promise you a new one. Is this new, the Chrome OS end of life policy? This is something
I
Mike.
think it's a new list. I wish they wouldn't. Don't. I mean, I wouldn't you wish they'd do this for phones too? They're committing to a date until which they will support Chrome.
Right. I guess that's one way to look at it. Instead of saying end of life, they should say, here's how long we're going to support this.
Yeah, it would have been a better way to put it. Yeah, because it's a commitment that goes beyond the life of most Android phones, frankly.
Right. So Microsoft does this. In fact, it's in the news right now because April 8th will be the end of life for Windows XP. No more updates. I had not seen this before.
No, I hadn't either.
With Google, these are Chrome OS devices, right?
Yes.
Chromebooks.
So my Pixel is till April 2017, which that's okay.
Now, it says these are unofficial end-of-life dates. Official EOL for these models will be at this date or later. And the only exception there is the Samsung Series 5, which that's the officially announced end-of-life, which is January 2016. So
I guess the difference here would be that after the end of life, you could keep on using your Microsoft device forever on your old OS and it's fine.
Right.
This thing, it might say, sorry, you're Chrome. We update Chrome and we can't update you, so bye.
Will it?
I don't know.
When a device, is what Google says, reaches EOL, it means the product model is considered obsolete and will no longer receive full support from Google's enterprise team. Additionally, enterprise customers using devices, enterprise is not us, it's business,
right,
that have passed their EOL update may find they cannot manage their devices as expected using the administrator control panel or leverage new management features. Automatic software updates are not guaranteed. Doesn't say it won't work anymore. This is what happens with Microsoft, too. They're just not going to fix it. So if there's exploits, that's bad. Chromebooks, I would worry less about exploits. Is it possible having an old version of Chrome will keep you from visiting some sites?
Well, I mean, the thing is, I can't ever have an old version of Chrome. Whenever you restart the machine after a new version has come out, you get it.
Right, but you won't after April 2017. That's the point.
Not necessarily,
Right.
it sounds.
Not even that. Won't is not even right. May not.
I have kind of mixed feelings about this disposable computer thing.
Me too.
Didn't Microsoft support Windows versions for like 10 years? And
More.
there was such an uproar with XP that they extended it?
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, we both agree that you can't, you're a developer. You know you can't support software forever and ever and ever. Comes a time you got to move on.
Particularly software that is so closely tied to the hardware. I mean, with Microsoft has to support so many different hardware configurations anyway by design, over the years. And part of the reason why Windows is so kind of crufty and heavy, right, is that it's got different drivers for different things. And Android kind of has the same thing. With the Chromebooks, it's like, it's a hardware software that the package is tied together. I don't know. I kind of feel like they could do better than 4 years. I'd like them to do better than 4 years, but then again, their whole take on the Chromebook is that it's this disposable computer that you can throw in the river and get a new one.
Yeah, when it's $200, I mean, my $1,500 machine, probably Pixel owners should be a little more upset, but
Right.
But when have I ever kept a computer longer than 3 years?
Well, right, that's true. But if they're targeting developing countries or education or young
That's a
people
really good
just
point, Gina.
don't have the kind of resources that we have or the kind of computing demands that we have. I mean, look, it's a lot better than Android, right? Android was purportedly supposed to be every 18 months they were going to upgrade, and that's not shorter than even a 2-year contract. We talked about this a little bit last night on All About Android. So 4 years is okay, but it's just interesting to see that change, that commitment to backwards compatibility, which was very much a hallmark of Microsoft's approach to software, for better or for worse, kind of flipped on its head. And that's, I think, because in its DNA, Google is a web company. And when you deploy web software, you deploy it and it's updated, right? So like here's a web company trying to distribute devices running desktop software. And they're like, we're not going to,
Gina, I was talking to somebody when I was at Google. I won't say who, but I was just talking to somebody at Google, and I talked about web stuff, and they kind of just poo-pooed. Oh, web.
What?
They're a mobile company.
Oh, wow.
That's
I wouldn't poo-poo web. I don't think desktop's going away.
I wouldn't either. I think it was done for effect, but wow. Where they're putting the resources is mobile.
Yeah, but they're putting the resources into GMS, right? Which is that layer on top of Android that interacts with the cloud. So I equate web with cloud services, and there is a difference between consumer web and cloud services.
Web browser. I was complaining about something I wanted in a web browser, and I was kind of told, fishy. Grandpa, jeez.
That's absurd. I'm sorry. That's absurd. People are going to use desktops for a long time to come.
Yeah, of course. But in terms of where their resource, I think it was illustrative of where their resources are going, where they see the importance of development, and given choices of priorities, we see all these numbers now about these huge proportions of traffic are mobile. I think that's a misnomer in great measure. We've talked about this in the show before, because I think that it bundles in things that are not mobile, like tablets, and we need to redefine what mobile means. Mobile means a phone to me. And you're gone somewhere else. But even then, you're still using a browser. You're still using the web. But I pointed to my beloved Pixel, and it was kind of,
Wow. So maybe by 2017 you won't. You'll be using, what is it? I mean,
I'll be using my Google Glass, of course.
It makes sense if you're Facebook or Google or Yahoo to think that what you want to do is transition your revenue to mobile, because that's how more and more than half now of all computing is done on mobile. But it doesn't mean the end of the world for desktop by any means. I don't anticipate that ever happening.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm not asking you to reveal who you talk to, but I think this depends a lot on who.
Yeah.
What.
If it was Sundar Pichai, well, Okay.
But it made me because we were out there looking at what we should do as a journalism school, and we keep on talking how we have to do more mobile, and we know we have to do more mobile, and every media company I know says that. But when I heard that, I thought, ooh. Even more than I thought.
Yikes.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting thing to hear from.
I had a very pleasant lunch with Steve Lee, who's the head of Google Glass product. I just asked as a condition that he not punch me out when we sat down, and he didn't. He was very, very nice. And I want it on the record. I have ordered my lenses.
Aww.
Oh, he turned you around on it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've kind of felt like a schmuck. And I need to know how this thing operates in optimal conditions, and I've never had it in optimal conditions. So my wife's not happy, but I ordered my lenses.
I talked to somebody. So we had two people from Google in the audience, unbeknownst to me, on Sunday during Twit. One of whom does marketing for Google Glass, and she was sitting on her hands because I was saying things like, every time I see somebody with glass on, I feel like I just want to punch them in the nose. But another person came up who was wearing it with prescription lenses and said, you really haven't experienced it. And I wear glasses like you, Jeff. Mm-hmm. You really haven't experienced it, and that's, I think, what you're saying, unless you've tried it with your prescription glasses on.
I think that's what I have to do.
Yeah.
Or I should have gotten contacts, but I'm too squeamish.
Then you really weren't. You couldn't see it.
Couldn't see it. No, I couldn't.
Well,
it was over my glasses.
Jeff.
It was over my glasses.
Oh, you were wearing it over your glasses. Yeah. Oh, that's really
better with these glasses than horn rims or something.
Yeah.
People who have black framed glasses can't use it at all. Here, but you had to adjust it constantly to try to get right in there.
How many geeks don't wear glasses? Seems like if you're a geek, the glasses go with the territory.
Yeah, I think so.
Gina, you wear glasses, I'm sure.
I don't.
Stop it. You're not a geek.
Is perfect.
I got lucky with
you have perfect eyes, really?
Gina is perfect in all ways.
I guess that confirms what we've always suspected, but golly.
Gina is it's not about Android. Gina is an Android.
I wish. I'd be much more efficient.
Gina is an Android. Gina is an Android. Wow.
Fueled solely by Diet Pepsi.
Ooh. That's a good kind of
You have reached singularity, Gina. A world fueled by Diet Pepsi.
I like it. I don't know if we want to belabor this. I think all hardware has to come to an end. It does seem a little swift. The Acer AC700, which is only a couple of years old, ends July 2015, next summer. So 3 years seems quick.
Is there, so what's the number? Is 5 years good?
I'd say 10. I mean, this problem with computer hardware is the hardware itself, especially with solid-state drives, never wears out.
Right.
And it doesn't, I don't understand why you can't support it. Maybe it's going to get slower and slower, but what features?
I don't know.
When you make Chrome OS, well, see, this is the question. What is Google thinking they're going to do that would make this happen?
Obsolete.
I mean, it seems like graceful degradation. Even if they
if it gets slower,
that
big
depends
deal.
on new hardware, get it to work without that feature on slower hardware. I mean, that slows down the development process, and it adds, it can add some complexity to your code base. But
isn't the whole notion of Chrome that every device is automatically upgraded to the same Chrome level, and that's what makes it secure, because it's verifying. You always know it has the fixed up latest version of Chrome. You have no choice about that. You have a choice of which track you're on, but you have a blessed version of Chrome when you turn this machine on. And if it's not blessed, it will not work. And that's what gives Chrome its security and its consistency, right? Isn't that, architecturally, that's just different from Windows, where I bought the OS.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite sort of little fun fact about Chrome is that the first thing that the developers built before they built any browser functionality was the auto update functionality.
Huh. Wow.
Like the first thing that they built, people ran just a little executable on their desktop that would auto update. Like that was the first thing they did because it was, Chrome was from the beginning supposed to do graceful, silent, instantaneous updates that didn't require you to restart. I don't know if you remember Firefox. It was a bear. You always had to restart. You knew they made it big. Mozilla would do these giant big parties about new Firefox releases. We all knew the version numbers.
That's right.
And now, remember?
Countdown. Yeah,
and Chrome does. I mean, Chrome's version numbers are insanely long. They're constantly pushing out updates. It happens silently. You don't even know.
Well, you do have to restart, though. You do have to restart.
Occasionally you do. Or the little hamburger turns orange and says, hey, please update Chrome. I mean, at this point, I really don't shut down my computer or shut down Chrome very often. So I'll catch that once in a while. But it's a completely different paradigm than what it used to be.
Yeah.
So we came from a world of Windows updates that would be like multiple restarts and service packs. And then we had Firefox, which was like, also sort of very old school version, big version drop releases to Chrome, which was the silent update. So yeah, I mean, silent updates that happen without you having to, deal with them automatically. That's like one of the basis, it's that and speed were the two things that Chrome really promised. So that's why this end of life thing seems strange to me.
From a hardware perspective, I mean, we've talked on the show about the potential of the modular phone, and Google's working on that, and others working on that, where you take an old chip out and put a new chip in. Shouldn't a laptop be like that? I mean, the screen is pretty much good for a long time. The camera is good for a long time. The keyboard is buttery and beautiful. The trackpad is buttery and beautiful. What I need in Chromebooks is more RAM, and there's a new chip that offers something.
I think you're missing the point here. Chrome cannot ever get to the point where it won't work on the mass of PC hardware and that's out there. Forget the Chrome
or Chrome browser.
The Chrome browser. They're never going to say, you can no longer run the Chrome browser on your Intel Core 2. It just will run slower. There's no way they're making Chrome incompatible with the vast majority of PCs out there, right?
That's not an OS. That's the browser.
But Chrome OS is just the browser.
Well, no, it does more with the machine.
It's the browser on top of some sort of layer that boots up the computer, right? I mean,
what are you going to require fingerprint reading or eye scanning? No.
Maybe at some point.
I think this is.
Maybe you might be poking at something there. I mean, right?
Yeah, security. Clearly, what's wrong with security in this world is that we should get to the point where knowing your name and your social security number and one of the passwords you use for a service shouldn't matter. Shouldn't matter at all because there's better security mechanisms. So yeah, it could be something like that, Leo. Yeah.
No. They're trying to make people buy new computers. I think.
Well, they just bought a company. They bought a company with the new voice security thing.
That's bogus, by the way.
Oh, it is. Oh.
Wait, it's voice or I thought that
sound. So you go to a website, it plays an inaudible tone that your phone picks up and authenticates you.
Oh, is that it? Oh, I thought it was.
We were talking with Steve Gibson about this because he's doing something similar. That's an open source project to do a similar thing, but not with sound. And it's his opinion. I think he's right. This was an acquire. This was hiring the engineers.
But it clearly shows a direction.
That's a lot better than entering a freaking code from Google Authenticator, right? I mean,
well, it is if you have speaker, and it's too hardware dependent. It's called slick login.
But password dependent is no good either.
They want the engineers. I don't think they care about. Well, there are better ways to do this that don't require you holding your smartphone up to the speaker that may or may not exist on your hardware. What if you have a computer?
Whistle. Yeah.
Yeah, that's silly. I don't think that's the actual reason they acquired this. I think they wanted the engineers. But we'll see. Maybe Google will announce an audio authentication system.
I mean, if what I go through for two-step authentication at this point, like that experience can be improved so much more.
This is not two-step. This is something separate. This is password-free authentication.
Right. Okay.
And that's what Steve is also doing with his Squirrel project. The idea being that just as I'll give you an example that will ring with you, Gina, where you use SSH, you have the keys stored on the server that you're logging into. You don't use a password. It's more secure using public key crypto. And this is something similar to that Steve's doing. The sound would just be like a QR code. I think this is not something Google is particularly interested in. That would be my guess, but I'm just guessing. I haven't spoken to anybody at Google.
Can we talk about Google I/O? I know I'm skipping ahead.
Hey, Google I/O. It's in June this year.
Sundar Pichai just posted to his Google Plus page less than an hour ago. The dates: June 25th, June 26th. And they're making changes to registration. You won't need to scramble the second registration opens, Sundar says. They'll be implementing a new system where you could submit your interest to attend Google I/O.
Oh, no. You have to apply.
Yeah, successful applicants will then be randomly selected and notified shortly thereafter. We'll be
it's like
following up
Howard
with
Stern's
more
birthday
details.
party.
It's like Burning Man.
If it's anything like Google developer interviews, I'm probably in big trouble. You guys saw the scene in the internship when it was like,
Yeah.
if a tiny man was shrunk down and stuck into a blender, like
How would they get out?
get out?
By the way, I never did understand how they got out, but okay.
It's something physics.
Let us go on the record right now. Anyone watching from Google, please.
I'm pretty sure that
wanna
press.
Press is different than
Don't jinx us.
developers.
Gina, knock on that paneling behind you.
But, it's a measure of how popular this is. And I'm glad that they did this because in the past, the whole thing has been, all gone in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
It's like that Nick Cage movie. Gone in 30 seconds. So this is not who can click fastest.
Right.
Although it would be a kind of a good test. Who can write the best script to auto-register for Google I/O? Then you'd have to be a good coder.
Right, and then you'd have to get in, just for your efforts.
Then Matt Cutts comes and kills them.
Right. So this makes sense, although it shows how popular they are, that they have far more people wanting to go than they can fit in. So they have to do a random drawing of all entries. Wow.
I think people want to go to Google I/O not for the developer resources or not necessarily to be there when they make big announcements. They want to go for the swag.
Well, okay, can I make a suggestion? Then they stop, no more Santa Pichai. They start to stop giving away crap.
They
start to pull back. I mean, they started to reel that in a little bit last year, right? Remember that moment where I think it was Sundar who said, "Oh, this new phone, you're not getting one. Like it's $179 in the Play Store," and everyone in the room was sort of like,
"Hey."
But that whole Oprah thing kind of freaks me out about I/O. I think if you took away that element, there would be less competition for people to get in there.
You're right.
And that's, as a developer, that must cheese you off.
Well, I mean, listen, I like my toys too, but I was in line at Google I/O at one point, and the person I was chatting with the folks in front of me, and they were like, "Oh, we're students, so with the student discount, we got in for this much, but the value of these goodies that we got is way more than that. So when we eBay them, we're really going to make money back." And I was like, "That's why you're here?" I mean, I'm not saying that these kids, and they were cute and they were earnest and they were smart. I don't think that they were necessarily representative, but I thought it was a weird reason to wanna go.
Those people, you know what? There was a word for it in Yiddish. They're schnorrers.
That's a new one on me.
I'm a bunch of Gentiles around here.
I'm an honorary Jew.
Schnorrers are chiselers, spongers.
Yep.
They are just a schnorrer, according to the Jewish dictionary, is distinguished from an ordinary beggar by dint of his boundless chutzpah. A schnorrer is far worse than a cheap or miserly person. He's often unethical to the point of stealing. Is the stealing always illegal? No. In fact, more often than stealing, it's quite subtle and perfectly legal. Legal but not ethical. You're a schnorrer. Knock it off.
What I think is going to be interesting is what kind of system could Google possibly implement to make this? I mean, it sounds like it's basically going to be a lottery. But Andy Baio does XOXO, and he had an application process for the conference, right? Because he had a similar thing where he just had so many people wanted to come and only so much space, and he wanted to maintain a level of intimacy that Google I/O certainly does not have. But he had people answer a set of questions. 3 or 4 questions. He wanted makers. He wanted people who were creatives. And that him and his co-conference chair went through them and chose people kind of by hand.
Yeah,
and,
I think as much
there was
as it
a lot
hurts
of controversy
me,
about that.
You should be there, Gina, because you are going to build stuff that's going to be
Right.
interest. The truth is, I shouldn't be, but
No, you should be there as a journalist.
As journalists, I know there's absolutely a place for press.
they should look at their self-interest in I/O, and they want developers who build things, who build this future. and they should be like a university admission. In that sense.
Exactly.
How do they know that I'm someone who's going to make stuff? Like, do they say
'Cause you've
only
made
a
it.
developer
'Cause you've made
who's
it.
had-
You look at you know what? Do it on GitHub. You get in by your GitHub.
That's true.
You get in by your GitHub account, or do you have to have an application listed in the Play Store or in the Chrome Web Store?
Maybe.
Do you,
You know,
do you have to show your GitHub profile? Do you have
For
to
all
show
we
it-
know, they're doing that because it sounds like there's this pre-qualification a little bit, right? Random, but for all we know, they're going to take everybody who asks, they're going to look at their GitHub account. I bet you they've got a Python script that then sorts them and then randomly picks them.
Actually, they already know who they want there, and they're going to put it in your brain
Those
that you want to come, and they're going to make you apply. Yes, it's more presumptive than that.
But they're also trying to get new developers in, right?
That's true, too.
You don't want devs who are already sold,
Right.
who are already going to do the work
But
anyway.
GitHub,
I mean, part
but
of
you
this
still
is-
want people who if you're, let's put it this way, if you're not putting stuff on GitHub, should they want you there?
I mean,
Is
a
that
lot
a
of
minimum
developers,
requirement?
a lot of developers work for companies who don't open source their
That's
stuff,
true.
and their work's in the dark. Does that mean that doesn't necessarily mean that they're
Yeah, that's a good
less
point.
worthy? And a lot of developers work for companies
No.
and build the Android app, but their company's Android app is listed as the company's Android app, right? Because they're employed.
Right.
So this is tough. This is hard.
I bet you
this is
there's
a tough
there's an
problem.
algorithm. Google's an
Yeah, but-
algorithmic company. I bet you they figured it out.
I'm sure that there's some sort of algorithm. I'm sure there's also major selection bias.
Yes.
And I look forward to critiquing the algorithm.
Yes. All right, let's do it. Let's critique the algorithm.
In any case, Google, please.
Don't be a schnorrer.
It's not about. I bought my Chromebook.
That's right. You did. You did.
I bought a Chromebook. Yeah. I bought my glass. I bought my frames. I bought my lenses.
Actually, yeah, you're no schnorrer.
Well, I've gotten snoring things. I've got my original Nexus phone came from Davos. They gave them out.
Oh yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, I've taken my Google swag. I should have worn my Google Plus hat today that I bought.
Oh, did you buy a
love-
Google Plus hat?
I
That's
bought a Google
fantastic.
Plus hat. Yes. In the commercial break, I'll go up and get it.
I want to see a Google Plus hat. I didn't even. Where'd you buy it?
At the Google Swag store, which is my. I said
Oh, you
the
went
one
in. You have to
condition-
go in. I get it.
And
Yeah.
they have to escort you in.
What?
Yes.
Oh, it's not open to the unwashed
God
masses.
no! Oh God no! So they take you in, and so luckily I beat a big tour group. You've been in the store, haven't you?
No, I did, apparently
Oh.
don't have the.
I
Oh,
was
next
there,
time you're on the
this summer.
campus.
They escorted us as well. I was
Yeah.
there for the Google Summer Code, like the Mentor Summit, and there were scheduled times, and we were escorted by a Googler. We had free run of the store.
Yeah.
It was a Sunday. They clearly opened it up for us. I mean, it definitely seems like a
Wow.
guest thing.
It's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
it's kind of
People
over the river
just
and through
love
the
it.
woods, like to get there.
Oh, really?
No, it's just over. It's over in 1950. It's
Yeah, no, you have to cross that little bridge. It's like a
Across the
little
little bridge,
water. Yeah.
Wow.
That's where Google Plus is. So I was in that neighborhood.
Wow. I've never been there.
Speaking of Plus, this New York Times story.
Oh.
Jeff, did you call this laughable? I feel like we've got a
Yeah, I'm the
Jarvis
one who
rant.
said laughable. I was just screaming about it because and it's going to set Leo off too. and he's
I
gonna
didn't see it, so tell me and I can get mad
It
now.
just starts off on the old ghost town shtick.
How can, well, and I'm the one of the people who says, Google Plus is a great place to talk with people who work at Google, but
It is, and I was with Vic and Bradley and Richard Gingras, and I'm sure he won't mind me quoting him to this effect because it's positive to Google Plus. But Vic's saying, we've really grown a hell of a lot in a hell of a short time, and he likens it to the growth of an Android or something like that. It's still on a spike. I still think. It's very clearly the quality of what I do on Google Plus versus what I do on Facebook versus what I do on Twitter versus what I do on Medium. They all have their roles,
Right.
And there's not room for one. It's not a zero-sum game in my life, and so I use Google Plus. I like Google Plus. There are a lot of people who use Google Plus, and just because you don't use it, New York. I mean, Claire Kane Miller is a tech writer, and it was
was
absurd.
that her thing is I don't use it? And so
Well, I guess that must be what it is because to her it's a ghost town. But the real problem then was it comes around and says, oh, it's not there for you to be social. No, they have a secret agenda. They want to target ads. No, bullpucky. Of course they do. That's their whole business model. You just discovered this? It was just stupid. It was page one stupidity. So there was, and I can see what's going to happen. Bradley Horowitz goes for an interview and then, gets burned. And so this forces.
was he interviewed in this article?
Well, he's quoted a lot. Piss me off.
I've really turned the corner with Google Plus. I have to say, if you go to my Google Plus profile, it looks as if I don't use it at all, right? Because I haven't posted anything publicly in a while. But Google Hangouts has become a part of my daily life. The video conferencing with my daughter is amazing.
Oh, that's
the little hats and the mustache, the little effects cracks her up. So we use that all the time.
Oh, I want to see that.
Yeah, I mean, really. The other day, I had forgotten to push some stuff to GitHub from my home computer. So I hangouted my wife and said, hey, can you just allow remote desktop access? And I wound up, remoting into my home computer using Hangouts. I turned on auto backup for my photos and videos. The auto awesome videos that Google Plus makes are amazing. Like if you've got a little kid or a pet and you just, I'm never going to edit video, but I take video now only because of Google Plus, because the auto awesome videos are great. The auto backup of my photos is amazing. So like I use Google Plus a lot, but just in the dark. I use the private features. So I'm not using, the social tool really. But yeah, I mean, for a while, we actually wound up switching to Slack, but my company was using Google Hangouts as like our internal chat. Speaking of, Slack is really, really good. It's in preview. But
who's doing Slack? That's
Stuart Butterfield.
Stuart Butterfield. Okay.
And he wrote
Flickr founder.
Stuart wrote a Flickr co-founder, and Stuart, just as an aside here, wrote a fantastic resignation letter from Yahoo years ago about how he was in the tin business, what happened to the tin business, and now he has a letter to his staff about being in the saddle business. Stuart,
he's a character.
I love Stuart. He's just great.
It's a fine piece of software, that Slack. I've got to say.
Is it a project management tool? It's enterprise focused.
It's communications. It's chat. So it's a really beautifully designed web-based, similar to IRC. I hate to say IRC because IRC, like in its, even the nice clients, like I'm using Textual, it's so much better experience than that. But you can attach files and you can you have different channels or whatever. But it's been really great for my team, and the mobile apps are just gorgeous. And
is it
really,
invite
really
only
nice.
right now, or is it open?
I think it is invite only, and I'm not sure actually even how we got an invite. I think
you've got to know, it's a fax machine problem, right? You got to know somebody to make it useful to you.
Slack.com. Can you send me an invite, Gina?
Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
Seems like we'd like to use this here. We've tried a lot of these things. I mean, there's a million of them, and
there's a million of them.
There's Yammer is similar.
Yeah, we
Microsoft
used Campfire
Yammer
for a while, and then we were using Hangouts, and it's really nice. I'll see what I can do to hurry along your invitation. Anyway, back to Google Plus. I use Google Plus all the time. It is not obvious from my page on Google Plus because I don't use it to post public updates. I should. I have guilt about it, just like I have guilt about not blogging. That's another thing. But I think that people just have to stop equating Google Plus with the social product.
Actually, I just signed up. It said I'll get an invitation by February 28th, so I can wait. That's 9 days.
Okay, cool. That's soon.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to go live. That's great.
That's really good of them to give you a date. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is really nice.
Yeah. So Facebook just bought WhatsApp for $16 billion.
Oh, that just happened?
Just happened.
16 billion?
WhatsApp had said for a long time, we are not for sale.
16 billion?
That's what they're saying in the chat room. Do we have a link? Because I'm looking for it right now.
16 billion that's a lot. WhatsApp is extremely popular.
Give me a link, somebody, because maybe that's just bogus. Here it is, businessinsider.com. That would be.
I used WhatsApp a little bit at Davos. I still don't understand WhatsApp.
Oh, I use it all the time.
Where it fits in.
It's internet-based messaging. It's a very crowded space. People use Facebook, Apple's Messenger, and other programs for it. It allows you to send media as well as text.
Right.
Facebook for $12 billion in stock and $4 billion in cash, according to Business Insider. That is a stunning amount of money. I mean, given that YouTube was just $1 billion some.
Wow.
But you know what's going to happen? Facebook stock is going to go up, higher than it'll make it up in no time flat.
They got the cash. That's crazy money.
Of course, crazy money.
Remember, Facebook started this all by paying. Gee, it seems so long ago. $1 billion for Instagram.
Right, and we all went nuts about that.
WhatsApp,
$1
which is a mobile app for iOS, Android. I think they have it for Windows Phone. I'm not sure. I'll have to check. It's cross-platform. It's internet-based text and audio and video messaging. It is probably the #1 of these programs. Remember, they bought Beluga not too many years ago as well, which was a very similar program. So it strikes me that the technology they probably already have. This must be, they're buying this for the users, which is a big user base. Facebook bought Beluga in March of, 2011, 3 years ago. Let me see if I can find the price.
Boy, the press release is just numbing. Pursuant to the terms of the merger agreement, MergerSub will merge with and into WhatsApp, the first merger, and upon consummation of the first merger, MergerSub will cease to exist, and WhatsApp will become a wholly owned subsidiary of the acquirer. The surviving corporation of the first merger will then merge with and into acquirer, which will continue to exist as a wholly owned, in part directly and in part indirectly, subsidiary of parent. Upon consummation, the Stupping, the closing of the transactions contemplated. Jesus Christ!
Well, I don't know why they would release the business deal memo as a as a press release. That's pretty stupid.
Whoa, man!
But it might be you could tell some stuff from that.
Yeah, you can.
It's not unusual that that's basically what we're seeing is the SEC Form 8K. It's not unusual for you to do something like this when you acquire a new company, because what you're doing is you're acquiring the assets of the company without the employees.
Right, exactly.
There's reasons that they would structure it that way, but I don't think we.
It's just weird that they would make that the press release.
We don't really need to worry about it. 16 billion. Most of that stock, though. 12 billion stock.
Holy smokes.
4 billion.
183 million shares of Parent's Class A common, valued at 12 billion, based on the closing price 6-day proceeding.
So now, when Mark Zuckerberg gives a record $1 billion to charity, you can just kind of say, "Well, that's nothing." Mark, come on.
Mark, save journalism, will you? I got a few ideas.
I got some ideas.
We'll talk.
I'll do it for 500 million. Honest, Jeff, wouldn't you and I get together to save journalism for half a billion? Easy.
Oh yeah, easy.
I mean, Pierre Omidyar only is paying $250 million to Glenn Greenwald. Jeff Bezos $250 million.
Yeah, and all
for
they're
Wall Street
getting is
Journal.
a few magazines. We'll save all of journalism.
We'll save all of journalism.
All of it.
So Motorola sold for $12 billion and WhatsApp sold for 16. Think about that.
Wow. You're buying the users. You're buying the users. That's what you're buying.
How many users does it have?
Tons. It's easily the most.
Is so replaceable.
I had a serious addictive WhatsApp period. I have since graduated, but no, it's a good app. It's for people who don't want to pay for text messaging or don't want to use regular text messaging. It's chatting on the phone. I mean, I get it. I mean, it's Facebook Messenger. Basically.
In December of
Facebook is buying
it is. Facebook has the technology. In December of 2013, WhatsApp passed 400 million monthly users, regular users. 400 million. That's all. That's double what they had in April, though. So they were growing quite fast. In fact, you might assume that it is considerably over 400 million if they're doubling at that point. And
Facebook clearly sees its future as mobile,
right?
And that also illuminates that line from Google.
Here's a critical note. There's a survey that came out in December that said at 44% of all smartphone users polled, WhatsApp overtook Facebook as the leading mobile messaging service back in December. They have 44% of all mobile messaging.
If you can't beat them, buy them.
Yep. 35% Facebook Messenger. 44% of now this was a survey of 4,000 in 5 countries, 4,000 users in 5 countries. 44% use WhatsApp at least once a week. Yeah, wow, that's a huge amount of money. If you're just tuning in, this is kind of breaking news. Facebook's just announced the acquisition of mobile messaging app WhatsApp for $16 billion, $12 billion in stock, $4 billion in cash. That is huge, huge. We're going to take a break. We'll come back with more. You guys, if you want, can do a little thinking about what this means, and we'll return and we'll show you WhatsApp. I have it on a number of my my devices if you want it. If you've not used it, I can't imagine anybody's not used it. At the growth rate, somebody in the chat room said at the current growth rate of WhatsApp, it would have been able to buy Facebook in 6 months. So this was almost necessary. This was a defensive move.
No, they didn't have Facebook's cash.
Our show today brought to you by Personal Capital. My friend Bill Harris joined us on Triangulation more than a year ago. He's a former CEO of PayPal and Intuit, knows a little bit about money. And he was telling me about this startup, Personal Capital. He said, you know, the problem people have right now is just every one of their financial accounts is a different website with a different password. There's no easy way to look at it. And we're not just talking all your checking accounts. We're talking your mortgage, your loans, your credit cards, and your investments. They're all spread out everywhere. Personal Capital makes it easy to see where you stand by combining all of those accounts into a single page with beautiful real-time graphs. And then once you do that, you can make sense of it, make the right investments. In fact, one of the things people do often is overpay for management of these assets. You can do it yourself with personalcapital.com. It'll show you how much you're overpaying in fees and how to reduce those fees. You'll get tailored advice on how to optimize your investment strategy. And it's free. So why wait? Signing up just takes a minute. It's secure. I know sometimes people, Gina, you and I had this issue with another financial service. Do I want to give them all my stuff? They're using the same back end that all the banks do. It's completely secure. You're not giving them information that service doesn't already have, in other words. And boy, it pays big dividends. Total clarity and transparency to make better investment decisions instantly. They really are great. Personalcapital.com/twig. That's the page to go to so they know you saw it on This Week in Google. Personalcapital.com/twig. It's free, and it's a smart way to grow your money. Personalcapital.com/twig. We thank them for their support. And if you grow your money right, maybe someday you too can buy a messaging app for $16 billion.
Jesus.
It doesn't seem possible.
I'm just watching my tweets go by about this.
Yeah.
About
So
$500 million
Sequoia Capital.
per employee.
Half a billion per
Sequoia
employee.
Capital
Wow.
is it. Total funding, $8 million, $8 million from Sequoia.
You're kidding.
I think so. Go to Crunchbase and see if I got that wrong.
That's amazing. If that's all, it's an Israeli company, I believe. Is that right?
It says Santa Clara.
Oh. I thought it was in Israel for some reason. Google had offered them $4 billion earlier, according to Dubai. I think that's correct. WhatsApp has consistently said, no, we're not going to sell.
If you're Sequoia, you say, take it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
$8 million funding.
Now, they don't, the revenue model for WhatsApp is probably sufficient, but it's $1 a year. It's not an expensive app, and the first year's free.
And do they have a cost structure of having to fit into SMS?
No, they're not SMS. It's all internet.
It's all web.
So when I send to somebody, I'm not sending into their SMS?
No.
No, okay.
Although, on Android, you can determine what your default SMS app is. I've never tried using WhatsApp as my default SMS.
Here's my dumb question, because obviously I'm not a big user of it. How do I get a tribe on WhatsApp as opposed to my tribes in any other messaging app? I have to rebuild it from scratch?
You know,
find
I
out
logged
who's
into
there?
WhatsApp. If I remember correctly, like I logged into WhatsApp and I had a message that was like 16 of your friends
Right.
are all using
looks at
WhatsApp.
your
Like,
contact
they were
list.
there. Yeah, they were there already.
Yeah. It's very widely used.
Nobody wants to send me any messages. I'm a ghost.
No, it's just that we know you're an old man, so you're not going to use WhatsApp.
Yeah, it's
Actually, a lot of people use WhatsApp. Everybody uses WhatsApp. It's very I took it off because nobody I really want to message with uses it.
So that's the issue I have. Yeah, I mean, I believe it. Here's my obnoxious moment. Not that I don't. I have obnoxious moments every show. Here's labeled
Another one.
It was used as the party roundup for Davos.
WhatsApp was?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
So I got into the WhatsApp app, so I knew where the parties were.
That's all you needed to see.
I was too old to go. So
looks like they had a single round of venture funding in 2011, April 2011, for $8 million, and they sold for $16 billion. Brian Acton, Jim Coombe, and are the co-founders, and they had a big payday today. Wow.
Jeez.
Wow. Let's see if the blog at WhatsApp is, yeah, here it is, Facebook. Almost 5 years ago, we started WhatsApp with a simple mission: building a cool product used globally by everybody. Nothing else mattered to us. You see the platforms they're on, by the way. iPhone, Android, BlackBerry, Nokia, and Windows Phone. So they're very universal. Today, we're announcing a partnership with Facebook that will allow us to continue on that simple mission. Doing this will give WhatsApp the flexibility to grow and expand while giving me, Brian, and the rest of the team more time to focus on building a communications service that's as fast, affordable, and personal as possible. It sounds like they're going to maintain. See, with Beluga, it went out of business. They just incorporated the Beluga engineering team and presumably some of the code into Facebook Messenger, and that was it. It was gone. We liked Beluga. It was great group messaging. Well, that's another thing people use this for, is group messaging, as at Davos.
So is that Jan Koum or Jan Koum or however you say his name?
Yeah. Who's writing this? Yeah.
Yeah, he dropped out of San Jose State where he was studying computers.
Another college dropout billionaire.
It's so Anil just tweeted a link to a blog post that Jan or Jan posted in 2012. Why we don't sell ads?
Yeah, they don't sell ads. In fact, they didn't want to sell the app. They were very focused, and I guess it's paid off. On a personal note, he writes, Brian and I couldn't be more proud to be part of a small team of people who, in just under 5 years, built a communication service that now supports over 450 million monthly active users worldwide, 320 million daily active users.
Brian appears to be the grown-up. He was VP engineering at Yahoo in '96.
Wow.
Oh, wow. He's an old guy.
Yeah. He's looking pretty sprightly to me right now. So he's got a Stanford BS Computer Science in '94.
They also support asynchronous messaging with voice, so you can leave a voice message for somebody. It's a you know what? Well, it's nothing Facebook Messenger couldn't do. Nothing.
Skype does that video message thing.
Yep. And but Facebook has a relationship with Skype.
All my Facebook users will now be visible to WhatsApp, and now WhatsApp will be useful to me.
That's part of it.
So the question is, and I get the feeling from this blog post, I know the answer, but the question is, does it get folded into Facebook Messenger, or does it stand alone as a separate app? And it sounds like they expect to stand alone as a separate app, which really then makes you wonder, what is the gain from Facebook that's worth $16 billion?
Yeah, it's interesting. It seems to be the refrain from acquired companies, from Nest and Motorola. We heard this from, and now WhatsApp. You know, the we're not changing. We're going to operate. This is kind of like, and even the way they worded it was, we're announcing a partnership with Facebook.
Weird.
Right?
It's literally 10 times the purchase price, if I remember correctly, of YouTube.
Yes, that's exactly
10
right.
times. I don't see it.
Well, YouTube, they got it. You know what? YouTube was a bargain.
It was a bargain.
We didn't know it at the time. In fact, it's kind of amazing, but it really was a bargain. I can't think this is a bargain in any respect.
No.
It is definitely eliminating competition.
Well, all right, so yeah, let's look. Who could have gotten this in a way that would have hurt Facebook horribly? Google. Would Google have bought this? They tried to for $4 billion.
Yeah, conceivably. Apple.
Yeah.
LinkedIn.
Microsoft
might be the most credible.
Because of Skype.
Yeah. But they already have two products that are very similar, GroupMe and Yammer. So,
well, but as you said, there's nothing here that Facebook Messenger couldn't do, so it's not the product that matters.
You know, Gina and I could write this app in about a week. Right?
Gina, why didn't you? Jeez.
Because, you know what, it's not about the technology. It's not about the code,
it's about the
right?
users.
It's about user, right? And it's about being in the right place in the right time and having the right branding and the right copy and getting in the right hands and having that one lucky moment where somebody mentions it. I mean, right? And this is something this is really a humbling realization for me. At different parts of my career, I have to keep rehaving it. the code does not matter as much as I, as a developer, would like to think.
Is it design? Is it UI? Is it, what is it?
I think
it's whatever brought the people in. It's the people who matter. That's what I keep on trying to say to media. It's everybody. It's the people who matter. The user base.
It's acquisition, and it's it's good user experience that makes that flow. It's compelling people. I started using WhatsApp because a good friend of mine was on WhatsApp, and I wanted to talk to her, and I felt like that was the only way that I could. Every other chat server she was invisible on, right? So and I think a lot of it is right place, right time, right branding.
It's virality. It's the same thing as a viral video, and it's very hard to bottle.
Yeah.
Right?
To me, it's like games. It's like Mark Pincus's company, right? It seemed to own the world, and then not so much.
That's the problem with virality. What goes up must come down.
Exactly. Well, let's go back to whatchamacallit. What was the original Israeli chat company bought by AOL? Thank you very much.
ICQ.
ICQ. ICQ. Right. So
whatever
ICQ
happened
was
to them?
The first deal like this. You go to ICQ, it still exists. Last I looked, it still has that nice little pretty flower.
In a case of something like WhatsApp, it's the network effect. It's what made Facebook a success. It's that your friends start using it, so you use it. So it's a snowball that gets bigger and bigger.
Yep.
And it's like lightning in a bottle. I don't know if you can codify rules for virality.
ICQ.com, just for the historical purpose of it, ICQ, folks, was bought by AOL early on. It was kind of, in a way, it was the first big networky, webby, internet-y.
It was a daisy icon, right?
It's a daisy icon.
Yeah.
If you go to ICQ.com, it's still up, right? Free calls for everywhere. ICQ for Map. It was a chat app. That's all it was.
It's not, by the way, it's not AOL anymore.
Well, that's right. They sold it, didn't they?
Yeah, it's a Russian company.
That's right. Well, it's one of the things that Armstrong got rid of.
Yeah.
But, ICQ was going to take over the world, was the whole world, was everything in its day.
By the way, breaking news just coming in from the New York Times, Nick Bilton writing about it. Facebook acquiring WhatsApp for $16 billion.
Does he say anything new?
Wall Street Journal. So this is interesting because, I have breaking news on my Android. The Journal got it at 2:12. We got it about at the same time Bloomberg or Business Week published it, which was about 2:15, 2:10, something like that. Breaking news. No, it's the same. 2:23 for Nick Bilton. I love that.
Ben Evans tweeted that Facebook paid about $35 per active user for WhatsApp.
Jeez.
And its own valuation is about $180 per monthly active user.
Facebook.
So if you look at it that way, right? Facebook. So if you look at it that way, they got a deal.
Well, but those what's the overlap, Gina? Then they're double paying for every one of those users.
Yeah, how much overlap is there?
WhatsApp?
I don't know.
Who on WhatsApp is not on Facebook? I'm sorry, they're all there.
It's got to be
not in the U.S., but maybe in other nations.
Yeah, I mean, someone else was tweeted. Matthew Ingram retweeted. WhatsApp is a de facto SMS in many countries, right? So this is about spreading beyond the U.S.
I think that's a lot of it. I think it has to be a lot of it.
So what do you say to this if you're Verizon or a phone company?
Maybe that's who the threat was from. Yeah, because SMS is very profitable for them, but it's dying anyway. I think
they have to cannibalize that.
They know it's dying. Hey, if you are in a market where you don't have gigabit internet access, good news. This is, to me, a huge surprise, going to add new cities, or at least investigate adding new cities to Google Fiber. I had really thought that this was just a kind of
the Mason-Dixon line.
A demo. Well, I thought they were just kind of saying, oh, let's show what's possible. They launched in Kansas City, then in Provo and Austin. But now they're investigating Portland, San Jose, Salt Lake City, Phoenix, San Antonio, Nashville, Atlanta, Charlotte, and Raleigh-Durham. You're right.
Around Atlanta there's lots of dots around Atlanta.
Yeah, it's the Atlanta Metro. Raleigh-Durham makes sense, too, for the same reason. These are the actual areas.
I would love to see, hey, folks, chat room, look at those markets and tell me who the cable companies are who are major in those markets.
Ah, interesting.
Who are they going after?
Do you think?
Are they Comcast markets? Are they secondary markets that Google can win in?
San Jose is a Comcast market. That would include Santa Clara, Mountain View, of course.
Atlanta is probably
Sunnyvale
I'm not
and
sure if
Palo
Atlanta's
Alto.
Cox or not. I don't know.
Portland,
It's so weird.
San Antonio's Time Warner Cable and AT&T, according to our chat room. Nashville is Comcast. Phoenix is Cox. Portland is Comcast and Charter.
Because what's always said, I used to work on the side of the cable business, and what was always all the deal making there is to get clusters that work together efficiently. And so there's trading of systems that go on. So the more you can cluster, the better off you are economically.
So that's exactly what they did in the Bay Area. They have Comcast has a fiber loop around the Bay Area, and they bought all of the regional cables that were there to make it 100%. And that regionality is what makes it economical.
Right.
So it would make sense. I mean, if you look at Atlanta, there's a whole bunch of suburbs, Avondale Estates, Brookhaven,
but Google's not doing that. Google's going scattershot across the country.
Yeah,
Are they trying to go
thinking.
into every cable company's backyard to say, yeah?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know.
This seems like it's a business. You're right. Mason-Dixon line heavy, south of the Mason-Dixon line heavy. Although there's Portland, Salt Lake City, and San Jose, but the rest of it is in the south. And these are, by the way, not guaranteed. These are potential. So what they're doing, as they did with Kansas City, is they're asking these communities to step forward, and ask, get involved.
Be nice.
Be nice. Boy, I'd love to be on that list of cities.
Oh, so would I. Well, and then there's another story in there that even as they do, this is Gigabyte, right?
Yeah, gigabit. Yeah,
Gigabit. I mean, Google is developing and testing 10 gigabit cable.
Right. So does this mean that this is more than just here's what it should be, cable companies shape up? This sounds like they're going into this as a business now.
A, it's a business. B, it's a serious threat to an industry that needs a threat. I only wish they would have do the same thing with telephone carriers, but they're not going to do that.
Why not? They had a chance and they didn't.
And they just got out of the phone business.
Yeah. But you could be a carrier without making phones.
Yeah, but it's the other carriers they depend upon for sales and distribution.
So what they say is we'll be working closely with the mayors and staff from each of these 34 cities. We'll walk through details about the Google study and about the fiber-ready checklist, and we'll answer any questions they have. After that, we'll be working closely with the cities over the next few months as we work on a study and they work on their checklist. Then the completed checklist items will be due to us May 1st. It's not clear if they'll all be selected or not. Google does say the process will take some time, but we hope to know by the end of 2014 which cities are going to get it. These cities are led by people who have been working hard to bring faster internet speeds and the latest technologies to their residents. I wonder remember when we were all campaigning for Google Fiber? Yeah. If these are the next best cities, I don't know. We believe these are communities who will do amazing things with a gig. And they're diverse, not just geographically, but in the ways they'll give us opportunities to learn about the wide range of challenges and obstacles that communities might face in trying to build a new fiber network.
So how far would $16 billion take you in building this fiber?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question.
That is a good question.
Google has more than $60 billion in cash.
What did Verizon invest in Fios?
I was told $5,000 per subscriber. So many hundreds of millions of dollars. Let me see if we can find a number.
$23 billion.
Oh, hello.
Well, so you're in the spitting range.
Remember that Google makes money in a lot of ways from this. And, exactly. Lately there's been a great push, and I've been kind of run over the coals for defending Google, both on Twit this week, on Security Now. There is this growing anti-Google, Google is evil movement. And I think these people are going to say, yeah, Google just wants to become your ISP so they can know more and more and more. But certainly
right, they get your end-to-end internet experience,
witness
right?
That New York Times story. The New York Times story about Google Plus, right? They're presuming venal motives.
Right.
With no evidence.
I really fear that this is becoming a drumbeat that's going to be
I do too.
Very strong.
Yeah, it feels like that's one of Google's biggest challenges going forward. It's not the technology, it's the people.
I think you're right, Gina, and I don't think they know it fully.
No, unfortunately, they don't. They're really good at a lot of things. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they do to fix the problem, the creepy problem. The feeling of, I'm being watched. But every new product, it feels like that's the.
In the book about Amazon, Brad Stone writing about Jeff Bezos talks about, at the very end of the book, he talks about a list Jeff Bezos made. As he sent out a memo called Amazon.love. And the list he made is of attributes of companies that are loved versus attributes of companies that are hated or feared. He actually included Google at the time of the writing in the companies that are loved and Microsoft in the companies that are hated and feared.
Yeah. I think that's generally still accurate for
but it's
the mass
shifting.
Of people. But media has certainly shifted to hostility here and in Europe.
And it's really interesting to read this, because here's a guy who's very analytical and very thoughtful about this stuff, trying to figure out, it's just like trying to figure out what makes something go viral. What makes a company loved versus a company that's not loved? Is it that
I gotta tell you, no, go ahead, Leo, sorry.
No, please.
I was going to say Microsoft, I don't think, do people care enough about Microsoft to fear them? I mean, in order to love or fear anything, you have to not be indifferent. I think that there's an indifference, I don't know, amongst.
Well, that's what in the memo Bezos said. He said, why don't Microsoft's hundreds of millions of users support Microsoft against attacks? They don't. They don't have any, there's a few, and I know this because we hear from them all the time, Microsoft fanboys, but in general, Microsoft's user base is indifferent to Microsoft.
And that hasn't always been the case. I mean, people used to line up for the new version of Windows. I mean, people, the Microsoft discussion was heated. I mean, it was a much bigger thing. And I think that Google is moving toward, shifting from the company that you love toward a company maybe you fear. I mean, Amazon is a company you love because they bring you the things that you need to your door, right? I mean, that's pretty straightforward. And Google's products are amazing, and I'm to the point where I couldn't live without them. But there is a creeping, even for me, who is very informed and talks about this every week. I think like, could I imagine, could I go Google free? I don't know that I could at this point.
Well, and as I said recently, I am completely Apple free except for Skype. The only reason I'm still on a Microsoft product or an Apple product is you.
Don't look at me, because those products work.
It's your whining. It's your whining about Hangouts.
Well, those work.
So
here is from the book. Here's what Bezos wrote. Rudeness. So he talked about cool and not cool. That some things are cool, customers consider cool. Apple, Whole Foods, Costco, Nike, and Google. Others get piled on rather than defended if things go badly. Think Microsoft, Goldman Sachs, ExxonMobil, and Walmart. He says the things that are cool, young, risk-taking, winning, polite, defeating bigger, unsympathetic guys, inventing, explorers. These things are all what Google is right now, right? Empowering others, leadership, conviction, straightforwardness. That's something Google could do. I think they do very well, but continue to do. He says pandering to the crowd is not cool. Hypocrisy is not cool. Authenticity is cool. Thinking big is cool. Unexpected is cool.
Trust is cool.
Trust is really going to be the big one for Google. He does, there is no trust on this list, which there ought to be.
Humanity is the word that comes to mind for me, and I guess that dovetails with authenticity. There's some products, and Glass comes to mind particularly. Like there's a little bit of a sense that Google's a cold bot who's very efficient and very good at what it does, right? But there's I think humanity is the attribute.
And if you break down humanity, I think you're right, Gina. I think if you break down humanity, in a sense, the problem for Google is that they've given you all this great free stuff, and then we say, okay, now what are you doing for us?
Right. And they want to drive your car for you.
Incredible free services, maps and mail and all this stuff is unbelievable for free. And it's, what have you done for me lately? And so you need some human connection there, I think.
Yeah, why are you giving this for free? Yeah, I'm from Brooklyn. You want something from me? You're giving me something. I'm thinking that you need something in return. What's the catch? Hey, what's the catch? Hey. Exactly. But also, you know, they want to drive their cars and they want to get everybody online. They want everybody online. They want to put, you know, a screen in front of your face. You know, and I think that the perception about those things, even though they're highly efficient, I'm totally sold on the benefits of a self-driving car, but it feels, I think, to people like, you know, taking the humans out of life.
That's what Google needs to do more than anything else, I think, is communicate why they want, you know, what's the deal? Why do you want this? What are you doing with it? Communicate. Be honest. Tell me what it is so I can make it.
Let's remember back to conversations we had on the show about a year ago where we all said we trust Google. We kind of don't trust Facebook. Now, right now, Facebook just spent $16 billion to buy users. And I haven't heard yet of, what's Facebook up to? Right? I'm not hearing that.
Oh, I don't know. I think about that a lot.
Right, I know I do, but not right today with this announcement. By the way, Zuck's, I just put it up in the rundown. Zuck's announcement is up on his.
Let me find that.
You can opt out of Facebook. And I know that's not true for everybody, but for us.
No, the argument a year ago, Gina, was you couldn't. The argument a year ago, and Schmidt made, was that you could opt out of every single Google service. You could use Bing, you could use Hotmail, you could use all these other services. But if your friends were on Facebook, you couldn't opt out of Facebook. What's changed, I think, is that your friends aren't all on Facebook anymore. They're everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. I guess for me, like, I can dip into Facebook once a week, once every couple of weeks, and catch up with who I want to, and then come out of it.
Right?
Google is a part of the fabric of every single interaction I have on the web, on every web page with Google Analytics, so every Google product, Gmail. I mean, and you know, when I've opted into, I realize that I can, you know, run my own IMAP server, email server, sure, but you know, I went for the convenience over kind of rolling up my sleeves and doing it myself.
What I'm hearing you say is you depend upon Google, and that vulnerability,
very much like a utility. Yeah.
So there's a vulnerability there.
Yeah.
That they need to understand and deal with. They need to reassure you. They need to go over the top reassuring you because you are so dependent upon them, as am I.
Yeah. Yeah, because I that whole thing. Oh, you could use Bing. You could just you know, incognito window. You could, you know, I don't know. It doesn't. It kind of rings hollow for me at this point. I mean, I guess I could use Bing. I've been using DuckDuckGo for quite some time. I often switch over to Google.
but I couldn't use. I have to use Gmail. I have to use Google Maps and Waze. I couldn't use alternatives to those things.
Right. I'm
on Drive.
Use an alternative. Yeah, Drive. I've become really.
I'm on Android. I'd rather be on Android than iOS. I'm certainly ain't going to go to BlackBerry.
I could run pure Android AOSP, you know, right? Like I could run just Android without the Play Store and everything else, right? But it would be a completely different thing.
Yeah. I, for one, welcome my new master.
I feel like, in a way, I just want to relax.
Just invite me to I.O.
I just want to relax and let it let go, let Google.
Just let it let go and let Google. We got a show title right there.
Just take me, Google.
Beam me to your island.
Because I just, you know, and I think a lot of people, probably rightly, especially in the last week, have accused me of not paying attention to the threat posed by Google. What O'Malley talked about on Sunday on Twit was, well, you know, maybe now they're harmless, but at what point does it switch where they just, and then there's nothing you can do?
Well, but you could say that about.
He says they're too big. No company should be allowed to be this big.
I hate that argument. I just despise that argument. Then fine, show me the statute that says big enough, too big.
No, it maybe he's not statutory, but I think that he says with power, you know, absolute power corrupts. Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. The bigger a company gets, the more powerful it gets. Inevitably, it will get corrupted. And there just is a natural size the company should not go beyond. There's no statutory. This is not a law, but it might be a law of nature.
It has to do with other factors. It's not size alone.
Can a company not be too big?
So what are we going to tell Google not to do? Sorry, you can't do maps anymore. Well, if it can't do maps, then it can't. That's
no. You can't. I'm not saying the government now has to come in and say Google's too big, but users could very reasonably say, I'm not sure I want to really continue to support this company because they have gotten to be a behemoth and they have too much of my information.
The answer to it even for users' sake, I don't think is size. So they stopped doing some functions. That means it doesn't work as well. I mean, I want Maps to tie to my Nest, to tie to my Mail, to tie to my Google.
Well,
Now,
the Nest is the one
Glass.
that really. I think the Nest is the one that actually put people over the top. Oddly
Maybe.
enough,
But I think it goes.
people
to,
say then now Google knows when I'm home. Like, yes, so.
yeah, and I want that. But I think it
Well,
goes
they
to what
know
Gina
anyway
is
because
talking
if your
about.
Android phone has your location anyway.
Anyway, I think that Google's, and I was there on Friday, and every time I'm there, I come away only more enthusiastic about the company because they're so friggin' smart. And some would say, it's the problem. They're too smart. They're too big. They're too smart.
Yeah, too big, too smart.
No, but what the conversation.
You're starting to sound like Ayn Rand, and this is objectivism. Hey, they're successful. They're big. Let them run the world because they are good at it.
Well, the same thing can be said about Americans.
That's true.
We've blown that, haven't we?
That's true. All right, let me read Mark Zuckerberg's statement. We're going to take a break. We've got a lot more, including the Google changelog coming up. But boy, as always on this show, we just get in these great conversations. This has become the philosophic heart of the Twit Network, and I like it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it really is.
The thumb sucker. What this week in thumbs?
No, I think we talk about big stories here. Mark Zuckerberg, by the way, I would love to be able to write a post on Facebook and 30 minutes later have 98,000 likes. No, I'm sorry, 95. Well, maybe not.
I don't know.
He does have
Every
20.
single one of his words is parsed and analyzed.
He does have 25 million followers. I'm excited to announce we've agreed to acquire WhatsApp, and their entire team will be joining us at Facebook. He says they will stay. The team product roadmap will remain unchanged. This team will stay in Mountain View. WhatsApp will continue to operate independently within Facebook. Facebook Messenger will continue. Facebook Messenger, he says, is widely used for chatting with your Facebook friends. WhatsApp for communicating with all your contacts and small groups of people. Since WhatsApp and Messenger serve such different and important uses, we will continue investing in both and making them each great products for everyone. Credible?
That makes less sense to me then. If you're not going to integrate the two,
what do you get?
You just spent.
They did that with Instagram.
You spend that much money, you can do with it whatever you want. It's your.
They did that with Instagram. But what you're saying is we're not gonna play on the synergy. We're just gonna run it.
Eventually, they're gonna integrate it. Eventually, when everyone's memory is short, in a few years down the road, they'll start to integrate it.
He says more than 1 million people currently sign up for WhatsApp every day. I bet today 2 million might sign up. I just downloaded it again. I had removed it.
Unfortunately, there's no Davos party, so I'm not getting anything new on it.
The process, by the way, of signing up, let's run through it real quickly, of signing up for WhatsApp is actually very simple. You download it. You'll give it your phone number, which I will do off the air. Not that it really matters. All the people who hate me already have my phone number. And then I don't even remember my phone number, so I think that's right. And then it will send you a text message to verify. Apparently, WhatsApp gets permission to read your text messages, much like Facebook does, and will automatically detect the SMS coming in, read it, and say, okay, got it. And then,
I had not approved that update, by the way, Leo.
Did you really?
I had not. Yeah, I had not.
Yeah.
After the show, I went and saw that it was one of the ones that needed permission. Anyway, carry on.
Carry on.
By the way, might mention that this is poor timing. There are 4, according to Panda Labs, 4 Android apps that are malware. And what they do is they sign you up for paid SMS services. One of them, for instance, is how to lose weight, on your belly or something. It's in Spanish, so I couldn't read it exactly. And then it signs you up for an SMS service, gives you a quick okay, and you say okay. These are very expensive paid SMS services. And the reason it can instantly validate you is it goes and it looks in the WhatsApp listing, the public WhatsApp listing, which has your phone number in there. And it can do that apparently by looking at your WhatsApp information. So WhatsApp is actually a security hole.
I don't find Leo Laporte on my WhatsApp.
Well, I'm signing up right now.
List. Oh, is that it? I don't find Gina Trapani on here either.
I've been there. You don't?
I've been there.
Oh, it depends what
was a
phone
really long
number of
time ago.
mine you have. That's probably
Oh,
what
right.
it
It's
is.
tied to your phone. That's right. It was several
Oh,
phones
why do
ago.
I never call you?
Let me do a
Oh,
different
wow.
phone number. Can I use?
I don't
Now
find
here's
a
a question.
match
Can
for
I?
Gina Trapani?
Can I use my Google
Voice?
Voice number, which would be the best number to use?
All right, so if I
Yeah, I
want to
don't
talk to
think
Gina,
I think it has to be your native number.
I think so.
so Gina, if I want to talk to you, I just search for you and I don't find you by name. I have to know your phone number?
Here's Chad. He's a young
Yeah, it's very
person.
weird.
Right. The way,
Let's find out what
let's
he
ask
does.
Thank
so
you.
you can use your Google Voice number.
Oh, good. Oh, it did it. It
yeah,
worked.
Yeah, it'll send you a text, but sometimes it doesn't automatically notice the text. If that happens, it'll give you a call and you'll write down 6
So
characters.
that worked. So I gave it my Google
Write it
Voice, and it now says, please provide your name and an optional photo. It knows my name, of course.
No, you're already on here, Leo, under some other number. It says that at the moment you're sleeping.
I know, because you can also do a status update. So let me just
Right.
do a quick WhatsApp picture. There we go. Oops. Oh, I went the wrong way.
You hit home
I'm a moron.
instead of tape.
A moron and a half. Let's do that again. How do I take a picture? Oh, yeah. All right, there's my WhatsApp. You always want it to be clever and creative, and
Really show off your best
really
attributes.
show off your best side. There you go. And that's it. Next. And now it's going to go. You get a free year of service, and after that, it's 99 cents a year. And it doesn't really ask you for anything. It just kind of goes out there and gets everything out of your phone book and fires away. So it's very easy. I think that's one of the reasons 1 million people a year sign up for this thing. Hey, let's take a break, and when we come back, the Google Changelogger show today brought to you by Shutterstock Images. Lisa just started a new blog, and she was saying it last night. She said, I love Shutterstock. Whenever we want to do a blog post, we like to have images as part of our blog post. Shutterstock is a source of great royalty-free images, illustrations, vectors, video clips, over 30 million of them right now, very affordable. You can try it for free, by the way, and they have a great app, Android and iPad app, which is just almost like one of those just great, gorgeous photo apps, but they have the fantastic search engine, which lets you search not only for nouns, but for adjectives and nouns. So you can search for happy hippos, cranky hippos, blue hippos. It is just a fantastic system. You can sign up for free. You don't need to give them a credit card, and that means you'll be able to search for images and save images into a Lightbox so you can share them with others. But you can also buy packages of images or do what we do. We have the subscription, 25 images a day, which is great for a company. They add 20,000 images every day, so there's always something new, each reviewed individually for content and quality. I just love Shutterstock, and multilingual. It's truly international, with service and support in more than a dozen countries full-time throughout the week. Don't forget to click the footage tab. We also have a footage subscription because we use it. In fact, this is fun. We use it a lot during our shows to do kind of matte images and so forth. There's always a free featured clip. I am a big fan. I want you to try Shutterstock. We actually have a good deal for you. Start the account. You don't need a credit card to do that, but if you decide to purchase images, use the offer code TWIG214. That's for February 2014, obviously. TWIG214, and you'll get 25% off any package, including the subscription package, which makes it a very good deal. TWIG214 at Shutterstock.com. And now, break out the drums. It's time for the Google Changelog.
The Google Changelog.
It's the trumpets, then the drums.
Sorry.
Jeez.
Ah. Here's Gina Trapani.
If you're a big Google Sheets user, not as in like bed sheets, but spreadsheets.
Those are
You'll know-
600 thread count sheets.
They know how you're sleeping.
Egyptian
They do.
cotton sheets.
They know how you're sleeping.
They know when you're awake.
You'll notice a link on the bottom right of your current spreadsheets, Google Spreadsheets and Google Drive, that says try the new Google Sheets. An update to the app, which you have to opt into in your settings, lets you edit spreadsheets while offline, which is very nice, scrolls and loads faster, and has other new features for spreadsheet users like new filter views, easier to use formulas, advanced conditional formatting. You can't convert existing spreadsheets to the new version, which, by the way, I tried to do to Twig's rundown today, but failed. But you can opt into the new sheets for any new spreadsheets that you make going forward.
Cool.
Doesn't look very different, just acts different, and just scrolls better, is faster, and works offline, which is kind of nice. The new Google Maps, which I had forgotten was new because I've been trying it I've been previewing it for a long time now. This is the new Google Maps that Google announced at the I/O Developer Conference. That has been in preview mode this whole time. Well, it's coming out of preview. You used to be able to switch back and forth from classic to the new mode. The new mode is now becoming the default. It'll be the default PC Google Maps experience going forward. And finally, and I haven't actually gotten this on my phone yet, but Google's added detailed transit schedules to the Google Search app on Android. So if you have the update and you tap the microphone on your Google Search app and you say, from New York City to Boston by train, for example, Google will display detailed information of schedules and fares, the requested destination, and a countdown timer that'll show you how long until the next train or bus.
That's awesome.
It's kind of nice. And if the train gets delayed, there's a maintenance issue or an accident, you'll see a status result, a status alert in the results, much like Google Maps now alerts you if there's a faster route while you're en route. This feature, I think, is limited to users in the U.S. And like I said, I tried it on my phone. I haven't gotten the update yet. I tried from New York City to Boston by train and didn't get it, but just seeing Google Search getting a little smarter. It must be rolling out little by little. That's all I got. Pretty short changelog today.
Now the drums. That's the Google changelog.
All right, Leo, my friend Josh Benton on Twitter, I saw there's already a WhatsApp commercial. It's in the rundown. I put it in the chat.
Is this real or?
Just
All right.
Uh-oh.
Hello?
What's that?
Yo, who's that?
What's that?
Yo, it's D. True. Hello? Yo, it's D.
It still makes me laugh.
It's still a great commercial.
It is.
That's not the original one, but I hadn't seen that one. That's good.
That's a good one.
The
There's
pizza
also,
guy.
not that we want to keep on going, but right above that in that chat is Getz's description of why it's worth this much money. It's a very good post from
Bernard Getz, the subway.
Jim Getz from
Oh.
Sequoia.
Okay.
This company has only 32 engineers.
Yikes. That's because it's really. I mean, Gina, am I wrong? This is a trivial application.
This is not about it's not about the technology of the
Not
code.
the
It is
technology.
not. This is not a difficult. I mean, look, this application certainly has some serious scaling issues. But if you're
That's
talking about-
non-trivial. You're right.
Yeah.
Yes, but 9
Scaling
months
is
ago it had 200 million active users. Now it has,
Yeah,
9 months
it's
later,
doubled.
450
Yeah.
million.
Yeah.
72%.
The network
daily
engineers are good. I wonder, though, what does it run on? Does it run? Maybe it runs on Amazon services. Maybe it's not. Maybe they're not.
Oh, it's interesting.
It's Erlang. It's built in Erlang.
Erlang. Nice.
That's why only 32 engineers. No one understands Erlang.
They're all
They
from
can't find
Erlangia.
everybody that knows
No,
Erlang.
that is Erlang is. Tell us about Erlang. Do you know anything about Erlang?
I
It's a
don't.
functional. Is not. I think it's a functional language. It's very popular among a certain group of
Yes.
of
Yeah,
nerds.
it's got that kind of occult.
Yeah.
quality.
It's a general-purpose concurrent garbage collected programming language and runtime system, according to Wikipedia.
There you
Designed
go.
originally, I did not know this, by Ericsson. This is one of the reasons it scales, because it's distributed and supports hot swapping. So you can. This is actually probably a perfect language for this particular application. Erlang is a reference to a Danish mathematician and engineer that no one's ever heard of. So there you go.
It's the language doesn't matter either. I'm
No,
probably disappointed
but it helps
inspiring
with
codes
scaling.
everywhere.
Helps with
Oh,
scaling.
sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
They have 99.9% uptime, and that's another reason users love them. They just don't go down. 50 billion, with a B, messages a day across 7 platforms. I'm not sure what that means. That sounds like they're aggregating perhaps Rackspace and Amazon and Azure and
No, that
Across
means
7 platforms. That means that
oh, seven host platforms. Okay, yeah.
no. Yeah.
Clients.
like
Yeah.
Android,
Yeah.
Windows,
Yeah.
Android, iOS.
WhatsApp does not collect personal information. That may change. Registration is authenticated with a phone number. Once delivered, messages are deleted from WhatsApp's servers. Wow. They had grown to dislike their time at Yahoo. So that's why they hate ads so much. They didn't like targeted ads, so they charged $1.
It costs more than $1 to run that per user to run that server. Well, not
year?
at that
Buck
scale.
a year?
But
It's like
initially,
this is YouTube again. Do they have a business model? They didn't have any business model.
So Jan grew up in Russia under the Soviets. He arrived in the U.S. as a 16-year-old immigrant living on food stamps with the extra incentive of wanting to stay in touch with his family in Russia and the Ukraine. His mentor was Brian at Yahoo, and that's when he began to build WhatsApp.
well, that's a good story.
Yeah. I'm really curious what the network platform is. God, Sequoia's got to be happy.
An
$8 million investment. You guys work for Sequoia? They're nodding. Yeah. Party at Sequoia tonight, baby.
One WhatsApp dev supports 14 million active users, a ratio unheard of in the industry, says Sequoia's tweet.
Oh, that's incredible.
They were so anxious to shun the spotlight, there isn't even a WhatsApp sign outside their offices in Mountain View.
It's like the secret Japanese restaurant that's there.
Yeah. Wow. You know, having used WhatsApp for a long time, and I don't really have a compelling use case, that's probably why I don't use it. It is easy, straightforward. It just works. It's reliable. Do you use it, Chad, on a regular basis?
No, not on a regular basis, but you know, it's one of those products that every once in a while you find that niche for a weekend or a convention or something like that.
Yeah, so, like Davos. Every time I'm at Davos, I use WhatsApp.
Right. Yeah.
I'm going to quote I emailed my son Jake, and I said, "Do you use it much?" No, I didn't email him. I WhatsApped him.
Ah.
And I said, "Do you use it much?" He said, "Not much, just for group messages. Definitely not worth 16 Instagrams."
Now, you'll like this, Gina, on their whatsapp.com/open source page. They contribute back into the Erlang project, which is open source, FreeBSD, JQGrid, which is an AJAX-enabled JavaScript control, lib phone number, that's Google's common Java, C++, and JavaScript library for phone numbers.
Yeah, they probably got the most phone numbers of anybody.
Light OpenID, a PHP 5 library for OpenID authentication. They use Light. I don't know how you would say this. Light TTPD. That's the web server they use. That's a very popular lightweight web server. PHP.
How much cash does Twitter have? Could Twitter have bought them?
Oh no, I doubt it. Even with their very successful IPO, I doubt they'd have $16 billion to throw around.
It doesn't seem like it would be the right fit for Twitter.
No,
By the way, if you read Zuck's post, the implication was a lot of people were courting WhatsApp. He says, I can't remember the exact words, but they had a lot of choices.
WhatsApp had every option in the world, so I'm thrilled that they chose to work with us.
Yeah. He did know. He says, we were friends. Jan and I were friends.
Yeah.
Certainly doesn't
Maybe
hurt.
they walked up the mountain, that famous old story.
All this someday will be yours, except for that part there. That's Steve Jobs. And that part over there, that's Eric's. But everything else is yours, my son. Google Tracker. This is put together by Ron Amadeo at Ars Technica. This is a useful thing. All the projects we know Google is working on this year. Yeah.
A lot of pages. A lot of pages.
I love Ron and I love Ars. I don't love that there's like this article is 6 pages.
It could just be a list.
It could just be a list.
Well, okay, I'm just going to tell you, if you really love Ars, you could subscribe, which I am. And then, unfortunately, it uses Flash to show the subscribers link, and I don't have Flash is out of date on this machine. But then you can get it all in one page or as a PDF, which I will do.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's worth, I couldn't figure out why should I give Condé Nast $60 a year. But Ars is so good.
Yeah, Ars is great.
It's worth supporting. The Q is still in this list, by the way. But that's because the Q might have given way to a console set-top box. We've been hearing rumors about that. This would be the crib sheet for going to Google I/O. Why don't I make a bingo sheet of all of this? And when we go to Google I/O, we can
Yeah.
get those stampers with the...
Predictions or no, just all the possible categories that they can hit on. And,
yeah, exactly. God, there's so much stuff. Google says how not to be a glass hole. Have you read this, Jeff?
Yeah. Yes. And when I was with this wonderful woman, Anna Richardson, really charming woman who does comms for them, who sat at the lunch to make sure that we didn't punch each other last week, told me about this was coming out, and they went to the explorers and discussed this. Very smart use. In fact, I argued to them that they should have done the same thing about the frames. But they should use Google Plus as an example of how companies should reach out and interact. So they went to Google Plus, they went to the explorers groups there, and they discussed, let's start talking about the norms here. And this does go to this trust question in a way.
Yeah.
Google should take a lead role in these kinds of trust issues and say, hello, folks, don't be an idiot. Even though I think it's very close to insulting us to say, well, I know I don't take it into the bathroom, Nick Bilton, and take a picture of your junk.
You might wear it, though. A lot of people do. I would say put it up on your head.
Well, then I'm going to miss the urinal because I got bad sight, Leo.
Oh, it's your glasses. See, we can't do that now anymore,
that's
can
the
we?
point. Yes.
Oh, dear.
I'm going to cross streams. That'd be very bad.
Oh.
No, that's not bad. That's kind of fun. It's called sword fighting, and
Oh.
Gina does not want to know anything more.
No.
No.
Mute. I'm pressing the M button, but this is not.
Stop. You're just jealous.
Oh, God.
You have envy, Gina. Admit it.
I have envy of higher salaries and
Yeah, that's reasonable. You should have
testosterone,
right.
fuel strength. Yes, there are some.
So anyway,
things
I think it was a good list.
I
The list isn't perfect, but it's a good thing. I apologize. It's my fault.
No, it's fine.
What were we talking about? I'm completely.
We were talking about
glass holes. Let's show. There's a video, isn't there?
Glass to be assholes.
Yeah.
So anyway.
I never thought that I said this on All About Android last night. I never thought I'd see the word glass hole on an official glass.
I didn't think they acknowledged the existence of the word.
But
yeah, no. So kudos to them for claiming a word.
They're saying don't use this word. I mean, don't be a glass hole.
They're saying you can use the word, and you deserve to be called a glass hole if you do these things.
Although they did use the word creepy, Jeff. Don't be creepy. Or
bothers me. Well, I think they're trying to say don't be creepy, but that's fine.
Yeah, they are saying don't be creepy.
And it's okay because they defined creepy. They said this is creepy and don't be it.
Right.
That's an okay use of creepy.
Do you not like the word creepy?
I hate it when it's just used as a generic, that's creepy, and people aren't defining what it is.
Right.
It's Google. Google knows where you go to work every day. That's creepy. No, it's not. You told them, and you get directions from them. What's wrong with that? I
can't define creepy, but I know when I see it.
No, that's not good enough, bud.
No,
not letting you get away with that. Nope. Because people are starting to try to regulate and legislate to this amorphous notion of creepy.
Right.
It's taken Europe where Google's creepy. Well, what the hell does that mean?
Right.
Now, speaking of not so, well, maybe you'll find this creepy. Also on the list right there is Anna from Glass sent this to me. The marriage proposals via Google Glass.
That's not creepy. That's sweet.
Well, take a look at it. You might. Some people will find it creepy.
All right,
I think it's sweet. It's very sweet.
Let me pull up the link. Here we go. This is on YouTube. And so Glass lets you record video. You'd have to say it ahead of time. And presumably people would know that you were... Well, let's see. Let's watch. Let's see. Is there audio?
Yes, there should be.
Oh, you know what? You're going to have to do it, Chad, because I have issues. Wait a minute. Let me see if I can fix that. Here, I think I can. Let's try it. Let me try it. We'll do it again. Yeah, you're getting it now. Okay. Let me rewind so we see all the...
I'm about to be foolish. Please don't. All these years.
They're both glasses wearers.
Waiting for this time.
Oh.
Trail.
Leo's soft side.
I got you a pen.
Okay.
Yeah, close your eyes.
Wait a minute. I'm going to pause this. This only works... No, I guess he's... Okay. So sometimes works.
He can have glass.
He can have. So in
Sometimes
some of
they
these
both
cases, the bride has
Listen,
glass.
If they both have glass, they should marry because they're not going to find a couple that weird.
The
on
first couple both had orange glass, which really means they belong
gotta
together.
marry. They have to marry each other. There's a law.
So here's a guy wearing glass. This is not creepy, but kind of dorky. Wearing glass, proposing in a restaurant.
Come here, kitty.
This is the best one. This is the best one.
I don't know how well it'll turn out, but
So they're cutting out the best parts.
Well, you get into it.
Oh, I see.
Tip of your new dreads to
This
your
is cute, actually.
pretty painted toes.
Let's start our adventure together. I've known that I wanted to spend my life with you since before we started dating.
So
Before we started dating, that's a little
Marie
creepy.
Carroll.
How do you know that from Google?
Yes.
What do you mean?
Yes.
We could live happily ever after if you're okay with that.
Can we go get him? Let's go get him.
I want to ask you.
He's on his knees now.
Marry me.
Aw.
Are they in a maker space? What is that?
That's the
I know.
glass.
Were they like picking up their glass?
Oh, they were
What?
getting their
They were
glass.
getting their glass. Yeah.
Oh.
He said, "Can I record?"
Yeah, that's how they both had it. I bet they. Yeah, they might not have even owned glass. They were just trying it on.
They should now.
Yeah,
I don't think they've given it free to anybody. Those two people should get it for free.
that's pretty cool.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. All right.
Would have been better if the dog were wearing glass, but okay. Do they have glass for dogs yet? Because I would get that.
I'm kind of excited to get Etta wearing glass.
What?
See what her perspective is like.
Baby glass?
I don't know. Kind of fun to see the world from like 3 feet.
There is a Kickstarter project right now. I forget the name of it. Somebody emailed me.
Here's a dog
And-
glass.
Nice.
Yes.
It works.
There's a Kickstarter project to use what I go. What are they called? What are the cameras called that are used for
GoPros.
GoPro.
So a bunch of kids GoPro, so you get to see the playground in their lives from kids' perspective.
Oh, that's neat.
See, this is the problem. When I did that, I was at the Google Strategy Group, right? If I want any job in the world, it's to work at the Google Strategy Group. You rarely see the future. So I'm talking to the whole strategy group at Google, and I forgot something like that a minute ago. And I said to them all, who were all very young, I said, "Don't get old." And one of the guys, without missing a beat, said, "We're working on that."
Ooh, boy.
Wow.
See, now I'm interested.
joke.
And I would give all of everything I got to the Google for overlords if they would
It was the
extend my
best
life.
comic timing I've seen this
I'm
summer.
working on it.
That's a good moment.
Yikes. Yikes. There are a lot of GoPro proposals, by the way. Steve Perlman, we know the name, creator of Web TV, right? And Moxie. What else he's done a lot of interesting things. He's been working on a wireless broadband technology called P-Cell. He's the guy who did On Live, right? And then sold it.
Yep. And what was it? Andreessen was singing his praises.
Yeah,
on
brilliant
Twitter.
guy. P-Cell will enable, according to Perlman, full-speed wireless broadband to every mobile device, regardless of how many users are using the same spectrum. The startup is Artemis Networks. They've been working apparently for a long time on this. P-Cell will enable mobile data users to enjoy fast internet with no congestion, dead zones, weak signals. I wonder if it's a spread spectrum. He says you'll feel like you're on fiber.
The
It's compatible with
explanation
LTE.
from the New York Times today was that companies can't put cells too close together because they conflict.
Right.
And what this technology does is make that an advantage, and it passes off in smarter ways. And you don't have to change your phone. You will still be able to use it on your same phone.
Yeah, because it's on LTE.
Right. So a lot of excitement about this.
Here's Steve in his lab. There are 6 computers all streaming high-def video at the same time in the same space on a single cell
And we're going to
site.
show you that by using actual lab radios instead of using, a LTE radio that's a commercial.
Too bad his video is
The reason
not
we're going to do
streaming.
that is it allows us to go
See, I
and
need
use
P-Cell.
the actual signal.
It's frozen. It's 1080p video. I can't play it back.
Turn off certain things built into LTE, like, for example, error correction. So if there are any imperfections, you'll see them. because we want to show you them. All right? And you can see that each of these PCs back here.
All right, you know what? You're gonna have to watch this yourself because I can't play it.
Andreessen, considering the source, Andreessen on Twitter called him one of the greatest Silicon Valley tech geniuses of all time.
Well, this is his bid. If he can do this, apparently in his lab he's shown iPhones playing back 4K Ultra HD versions of House of Cards. They're putting P-cell transmitters on 350 rooftops in San Francisco, and now, of course, they'd have to sign up other folks. I guess if it works, it won't have any trouble doing that.
See them because we want to show you.
Oh, it works on your computer.
And you can see that each of these.
I get like an
PCs
800-year-old
back here,
MacBook.
And these
here.
are tablet PCs.
Yeah, stop complaining, Leo.
And then on the back,
I'm going to bring in my Pixel.
That allows us to go and be exactly.
Dennis Woodside, the CEO of Motorola, has moved on to Dropbox. He was a Googler for a long time. They assigned him to Motorola Mobility when they bought the company, and now he's going to be operating. First time they've had a CEO at Dropbox. And Peter Magnuson, former engineering director at Google, is now VP engineering at Snapchat, probably expecting a big exit any time now. Snapchat turned down $3 billion, right? Maybe they were holding out for 16. All right, we're going to wrap things up with tips, tools, numbers of the week in just a bit. Our show today brought to you by LegalZoom.com. LegalZoom is not a law firm. Better than that, they help you get your legal documents worked out just online, because in most cases, you know what you need to know to do it yourself. And there are some things like starting a business or protecting your family with a will that have to be done. So LegalZoom lets you incorporate or form an LLC with their simple questionnaire starting at just $99. This is a great way to start a business. Chapter S, Chapter C Corps. You should also do your trademarks. LegalZoom will do trademarks for $169, and that's important. A lot of people, have brands that they're building, but if they don't protect them, they can be stolen from you. Do you have a last will? How about, there's more advanced kinds of things like healthcare powers of attorney, a pet protection agreement. You can do real estate, wills, trusts, trademarks, business services, LegalZoom.com. They're not a law firm, but they can connect you with a third-party attorney. I love this. Their LegalZoom legal plans, pre-negotiated flat rates, very affordable. Attorneys in almost every state. You can read their profiles and unedited reviews to choose the attorney that's right for you. From wills to business formations, trademarks, powers of attorney, and more, visit LegalZoom.com. I just have one little favor. When you check out, use the offer code TWIG. We'll take $10 off your bill, and they'll know you heard about it on This Week in Google. LegalZoom.com. Please use the offer code TWIG. A really great company that are empowering people all over the country to get started, start their own business. Let's get Gina's tip of the week.
Really cool Google search feature, which made a brief appearance last year and then went away, is back. It's the Google Timer. So
I used that the other day.
Yeah. I'll admit I'm a bit of a timer crazy person, particularly when I need to work on something that I'm procrastinating. I'll set a timer for 30 minutes and just make myself work on that thing.
You're obnoxious. I love you, but you're obnoxious.
I am.
Oh, jeez.
I know I am. I mean, and honestly, too, I've been trying to estimate how many hours particular engineering tasks are taking a think up. So then I try to time myself to see how close my estimates are. I know. I have a whole spreadsheet. But this timer feature is back. In order to set a timer in the search box, you just say set a timer for 30 seconds, and you'll see in the one box a giant timer come up. You'll watch it kind of live countdown. Let's try it out.
This is so cool.
You can do set a timer for an hour and a half, set a timer for 30 seconds, timer 30 seconds. Yeah, there you go. So you got a 30-second timer counting down there. You can full screen it. So there's that button on the right. Yeah, if you go full screen, it's just a giant timer, which is actually really useful if you're doing presentations.
Could use this for students.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use your time for your students. In fact, Google, don't they project a timer up on the wall in certain meetings, certain big meetings where people are getting up and doing short presentations?
They did it at I.O. last year before the start of I.O., remember?
Yeah. There you go. The timer just went off.
File's done.
Yep, and it defaults to 5 minutes. So if you just...
Make it stop. I'm going to wake up now from this all a dream.
How do I... Oh. You know what? The full screen has no OK button. Or maybe it did.
Oh, okay. There you go.
That was weird because I couldn't stop it. I didn't see it. Maybe I just didn't see it.
Full screen timer. So it defaults to 5 minutes. So if you do set a timer, it'll be 5 minutes. And you don't have to be as obnoxious as me. You can use it actually for presentations or for your students, Jeff.
That's cool.
Cool.
Does it work on mobile too? Okay, Google now. Set a timer for 30 seconds. See, I think the problem is if I use Google Now, it will do it with the alarm application, right?
It sends it over to the alarm app, right?
See, that's no good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Google Now.
Just desktop.
Set a timer for 30 seconds.
Setting alarm for 3:18
Yeah, it just sets an alarm. That's no good.
Yeah, and then it sends it off to the alarm app.
Whatever your default alarm app is, yeah. Okay, it's going to go off in a second. What else? Is that it? That's it.
Google timer. That's it.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we give you a number.
The number this week, well, by the way, I just, Jake said to me then in WhatsApp that it's mainly international, and Rafat Ali, the founder of Skift and Paid Content, said that every one of his relatives in India is on WhatsApp. And that's where this is big. But I'll use a different number. A new study from Ohio's Wright State University finds that 1 of every 13 tweets includes a curse word. Most of them, of course, mine.
And the rest of them have Justin Bieber in them.
Yes.
So
users swear the most on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Men swear more than women, though everyone swears more around their own gender. And F-bombs are far and away Twitter's curse word of choice.
That's not a curse word. That's
we have to build this sync up in sight.
That's an emphatic.
You do. A chart of naughty language usage exists. It's a Washington Post clip that's on there, Gina. So yes, I think you have to instead of your usual cheery, "Hey, good for you," you're gonna have a
F yeah.
Wash your laptop out with soap, young man.
F yeah. That's so funny that they swear more on Monday, Wednesday.
I guess you can't show the chart.
No, because as the words. Go ahead, show it. You could show it. If you have children, cover their eyes right now.
Blacklist of block words.
No, not that chart. There's a link on there, Chad, where it says the next paragraph down, right there.
Okay, everybody, close your eyes.
F word is more than double the S word, which is about equal to the A word, which is a little over the B word, which is a little over the N word. Now, they include hell as a bad word. I would not.
But hell beats whore.
And I think that Dick Costello would not like the fact that his name is considered a curse word.
Dick Costello is in there?
Dick Costello is a curse, yes. You Costello, you.
You Costello.
What's this? What's this?
That's a good list. Just give me that list. I don't care about the graph.
What's PUTA? I
don't know that means you don't know that? You don't speak Spanish.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Damn.
Prostitute. A woman of the evening. Or man of the evening.
Oh, really?
Depending on the evening.
Tomato, you'd say in Italian.
A tomato.
Tomato.
They say it in English? Or they say the word?
Well, yeah.
It's a pomodoro.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Hey, pomodoro. Quasi così, pomodoro. Anyway, that's a good number.
That's my number. That's a good number. That one wins.
Excellent number.
Washington Post.
So I just got this in the mail. I got a couple of things to show you. One is this. A lot of people have been asking me about Republic Wireless. This is an interesting play. They offer Moto X phones. It's the only phone they offer, but that's actually a pretty good phone if you ask me. And what they've done is they've integrated Wi-Fi calling into the phone app in such a way that when you're in a Wi-Fi area, as I am, it'll make a Wi-Fi call, and then it'll use cell if you're outside of the Wi-Fi area. And by doing so, they have very affordable plans. If you don't need the cell coverage at all, which they get from Sprint, by the way, it's $5 a month. And the phone, I should check. I mean, the prices go up and down all the time, but sometimes it's as little as free. They have a $10 monthly plan that includes unlimited cell talk and text, but no data. For $25 a month, you get unlimited 3G data. For $40 a month, unlimited 4G data, and you always get unlimited Wi-Fi talk. So this is a really interesting idea for affordable plans. Now, I just got this today, so I haven't had a chance to use it, but it is a stock Moto X. They only have black and white, alas. But I think this is a really interesting idea, and I'd sure like to see this take off, this do well. Right now, $200, and I think this is unlocked, $299 unlocked. So I shall let you know, but an interesting play. And then I'm also going to be reviewing this. This is a new Sony Xperia, an Android phone for T-Mobile only that has a 20-megapixel camera with a Sony processing. It's the Xperia.
Is that the one that has the? No, they don't have a
Z1S
Play edition. No.
No, wouldn't that be
It's
nice?
the big one has a Play edition.
But I shall give you a review. It does have the Sony interface, which is not a bad. It's a pretty straightforward interface. And then my app of the week is WhatsApp. Have you heard of it? We thank you, everybody, for joining us today for This Week in Google. Gina Trapani, lifehacker.com, and also Think Up. Let me just go to Leo Laporte. I love Think Up. Think Up does a statistical analysis on your Twitter and Facebook feed and tells you what you're thinking.
I checked mine before the show, and next week it'll tell me how many times I use the F word, I'm sure.
84. Yeah, really.
I'm already talking about it in Slack with my coworkers.
94 people retweeted me today. That's a new 7-day record. And then I am apparently on a list called Useful S Word. That's good.
where our code is open source, but we're also trying to sort of open source our business model and the way that the company works. So today on our blog, my co-founder and the CEO posted our investor update. We send an update to our investors every month. And so we were like, well, our users are investors, particularly our our crowdfunding backers. So we posted the full, it's everything. It actually kind of made me uncomfortable.
Wow.
I thought this would make Jeff proud. There's nothing too private here, but just the full Monty of, everything that's gone well and everything that hasn't gone so well and what we're working on. So, if you're interested in what a tiny little company in New York City its every day looks like, you can check out the posts. And we're working on launching sign up soon.
That's really great. Think Up soon for everyone. ThinkUp.com. And by the way, I am currently 1,065 followers away from 500,000. So that'll be a nice.
Wow, very nice.
That'll be a nice round odometer number. I love Think Up. Really nice.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah.
That's a rare insight. I'm glad that they gave you the hey, you got an upcoming milestone.
You got a big milestone coming. Yes, sirree. Think Up.
Yeah.
Everybody should take a look at it, and soon you'll be able to get it.
Yeah.
ThinkUp.com. Jeff Jarvis's latest book is Public Parts, Life in Public, and Why It's a Good Thing. He's also lives that life in public at buzzmachine.com, teaches journalism at the City University of New York, and is always a welcome voice here on This Week in Google. Thanks to both of you for another great show. We'll see Gina back again next week on Tuesday for All About Android, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week on This Week in Google.